Just when it looked like momentum was finally beginning to build in the Rangers' summer preparations, a bitter twist behind the scenes has dragged the club back into uncertainty. A deal that once seemed all but secured has completely collapsed. And now there's a fresh storm brewing over a key area of the squad. With the new season creeping ever closer and expectations growing louder by the day, this latest development serves as a cold, sharp reminder of just how difficult it is to rebuild a team capable of competing at the very top. The frustration is palpable at Ibrox. After weeks of scouting, negotiating, and planning, Rangers have officially missed out on Owen Beck, a name that had become synonymous with the club's summer ambitions. The young Liverpool fullback who turned heads during a stellar loan at Dundee was seen by many as a tailor-made solution to the club's issues at left back. Fast, composed, tactically astute, and already well adjusted to the Scottish game, Beck ticked every box for Russell Martin and his recruitment team. Yet in a blow that left fans stunned, Beck has opted to return south, choosing a move to English Championship side Derby County instead. It's a decision that has sent shockwaves through the Rangers' support. Beck had been heavily linked with Ibrox for weeks, and it felt like only a matter of time before he would be pulling on the light blue shirt. The club had held meaningful conversations with Liverpool and had made it clear that Beck was a priority from the outside looking, and everything seemed to be aligning. But in the end, Derby's offer turned out to be the more convincing one. For Beck, the promise of regular football in one of Europe's most competitive second-tier leagues, and the potential of using that platform to springboard into the first team at Anfield, proved too appealing to turn down. Rangers, despite their European pedigree and passionate fanbase, simply couldn't match that particular pitch. What makes this even more painful is that Beck wasn't just another name on a list. He was the name. His performances in the Scottish Premiership had already won over plenty of fans, and there was real belief that he could make an immediate impact. But now, instead of bolstering the squad, Rangers are back at square one, searching again for a left back with similar attributes, knowing that the clock is ticking and the pool of available talent is shrinking by the day. It's a cruel twist for Russell Martin, who's still navigating his first transfer window in charge, and now faces even more pressure to get things right. Meanwhile, amid the off-field drama, something special was unfolding on the pitch at Ibrox. In the second qualifying round of the Champions League, a name few fans expected to see in the starting 11 ended up becoming the headline. 19-year-old Finlay Curtis, a raw but promising winger, was handed his European debut by Martin, and he absolutely seized the moment. In front of a packed home crowd and with a place in the next round on the line, Curtis didn't just hold his own. He scored his first senior goal and played with a maturity beyond his years. And if the goal wasn't enough, there was an added moment that could end up shaping Curtis's entire career. Watching from the director's box that night was none other than Sir Alex Fergusons. The legendary Scottish manager, always one to keep an eye on the next generation of talent, made a point of heading down to the dressing room after the 2-0 win, and there he offered Curtis a few words of wisdom, a gesture that Martin believes could be the catalyst for something much bigger. Speaking after the match, the Rangers boss didn't hide his admiration. "I hope it's the start of something. He's just had words of wisdom from Sir Alex. You can't ask for more than that," Martin said. "He's got to keep his feet on the ground, but I really believe he's got the mentality and character to play for this club." Martin was candid about Curtis's rocky first half, noting that he, like many of his teammates, took time to settle. But what impressed the manager most was the way the youngster responded. He listened, he adapted, and he ran himself into the ground in the second half. That willingness to learn, to fight, to grow, that's what sets Curtis apart. It's early days, of course. No one's getting carried away. But in a team that's still searching for its identity under a new manager, seeing a homegrown talent step up on the European stage is the kind of spark that can lift an entire squad. As for the team's overall performance, Martin was satisfied but realistic. There were nerves, there were mistakes, and there were stretches where Panathinaikos threatened to take control. But through it all, Rangers held firm, and crucially the fans did too. Martin made a point of praising the Ibrox crowd for sticking with the players through some of those nervy spells in the first half. "We'll be much better for it," he said. "They've been together longer than us. They're a good side with a good coach. But I was really proud of how we came through it." But even with the win secured and progress in Europe looking promising, the club's transfer woes continue to cast a shadow. The loss of Beck is more than just a missed opportunity. It's a reminder of the uphill battle Scottish clubs face when going head-to-head with ambitious English sides, even those not playing in the Premier League. Beck had youth elite academy training and proven experience on both sides of the border. He was without question one of the most in-demand young defenders on the market this summer. That Derby were able to act quickly and decisively speaks volumes about the intensity of competition in today's transfer window. There's no question that Rangers pushed hard for the signing. They made their case. They had the infrastructure, the European platform, the vision, but ultimately it wasn't enough. Beck made his choice, and now the focus shifts to Plan B. Martin and the recruitment team will have to move quickly. There's still time left in the window, but the margin for error is narrowing fast. Supporters already impatient after a trophyless campaign won't be in the mood for more near misses. There's pressure to deliver not just results but recruitment that matches the ambition of the fan base. And it's not just in defense where questions are piling up. Up front, the situation around Hamza Igamane is becoming increasingly delicate. The Moroccan forward, just 22, has made a serious impression in Glasgow, with some eye-catching performances, but with interest growing across Europe. It's starting to feel like a matter of when, not if, he moves on. Lille have been circling for weeks, and now Dutch champions Feyenoord have reportedly joined the race. No formal agreement has been reached yet, and Martin still expects to count on Igamane for the next Champions League qualifier. But the tension is rising. For a club that has openly committed to a player trading model, the idea of cashing in on Igamane now isn't without merit. He was brought in for a modest fee and has already seen his value skyrocket. If a bid close to £10 million comes in, there's a real argument that the club has done its job. Develop, sell, reinvest, but it's a tricky balance. Sell too soon and you risk derailing the team's progress on the pitch. Hold on too long and you might end up with an unhappy player, or worse, lose him for less down the line. What complicates matters even more is that another key attacker, Cyril Dessers, is reportedly on the radar of AEK Athens. There's a genuine possibility that Rangers could lose the forwards before the window closes. That puts sporting director Kevin Thelwell in the spotlight. Replacing one attacking option is tough. Replacing two, and doing it well, is a test of any recruitment department. If Igamane does go, the club will need to act fast and smart. There's simply no room for hesitation at this stage, and that's the reality Rangers face right now. Progress on the pitch, setbacks off it, young stars, emerging transfer targets slipping away. It's a summer full of promise and pitfalls, and every move, every decision is under the microscope. The supporters are watching, and rightly so. They want a team capable of challenging for titles, making noise in Europe, and playing football that lives up to the badge. This rebuild is far from finished, but what's clear is that the pressure is very real. There's still time to get it right, but not much. What adds even more urgency to this already tense transfer window is the fact that Rangers are not just reacting to setbacks. They're being forced to rethink their entire summer blueprint on the fly. Losing Owen Beck wasn't just about missing out on one player. It exposed a wider vulnerability, the inability at times to compete with English championship clubs for young, ambitious talent. And while the allure of Ibrox European nights and the chance to play in front of 50,000 passionate fans is powerful sometimes, it's just not enough. When a player sees a clearer, more secure path to top-tier football elsewhere, Beck's move to Derby County highlights how Scottish football, even at its biggest clubs, is increasingly having to operate with ruthless efficiency in recruitment. The margin for error has almost vanished. And while some supporters may dismiss the championship as a step down from Rangers in terms of stature and tradition, the reality is different. When you're a young player looking for consistent minutes and a direct route back to a Premier League squad like Liverpool, Derby offered exactly that. For Beck, it was less about romance and more about strategy. And in that race, Rangers lost out, despite ticking nearly every other box. The message to the board and to Russell Martin is crystal clear. Whatever Plan B was, it needs to become Plan A now. There is no time to mope over missed targets. Defensive reinforcements are not just a priority, they're a necessity. The new manager needs a squad capable of executing his ideas and competing on multiple fronts. Every delay, every negotiation that drags on increases the pressure tenfold. And with the opening Champions League rounds already underway, that pressure isn't theoretical. It's happening now. The need for additions is not just about numbers either, it's about balance. Rangers have players capable of brilliance, but also players who can disappear in big games. Curtis's rise is refreshing, yes, but relying on a teenager to carry part of the attacking threat all season is unrealistic. The squad needs seasoned reinforcements with hunger, grit, and the ability to adapt to the demands of Scottish football fast. And then there's the ticking time bomb that is the situation around Hamza Igamane. The Moroccan's trajectory over the past few months has been meteoric. Picked up last season with relatively little fanfare, he's now a name on the lips of scouts across Europe. His pace, his directness, his instinct in front of goal. All of it has caught the attention of clubs with deep pockets and long-term plans. Lille were first, but now Feyenoord have joined the race and the whispers are growing louder by the day. Feyenoord are reportedly ready to break their transfer record to land Iguain. That in itself tells you how serious they are. For Rangers, that kind of offer is hard to ignore, especially under the current financial model. The club has made no secret about embracing a player trading philosophy. Buy young, develop, sell for profit, reinvest. Iguain is the perfect example of that pipeline working exactly as intended, but knowing when to sell is an art, not a science. Sell too early and you leave yourself short for key fixtures. Sell too late and the player's value can drop, or worse, the player checks out mentally. Russell Martin has to navigate that tightrope carefully. His comments so far suggest he's counting on Iguain in the short term, especially for the Champions League qualifiers. But what happens if Feyenoord put a £10 million offer on the table tomorrow? What if Iguain makes it clear he wants to go? It's not just about the money either. Losing Iguain without having a replacement lined up would be a serious blow, and it would risk triggering a domino effect. Because if Iguain leaves and then Cyril Dessers is tempted by AEK Athens, suddenly the front line is decimated. The entire attacking structure Martin has been working on gets ripped apart. That's not just a recruitment headache, that's a full-blown crisis. The spotlight now shifts to Kevin Thelwell. As sporting director, he carries the burden of making sure the rebuild stays on track. And so far, the fanbase has been patient. They understand that transitions take time. But that patience has limits after watching Celtic lift trophy after trophy. In recent seasons, Rangers fans aren't interested in moral victories or promises about long-term vision. They want results and signings now. They want to see progress, not potential. And above all, they want a squad that looks ready to challenge on every front. Not one still searching for identity in Midtjylland. It's also worth noting how delicate this window has become in terms of squad morale. Players talk. They know who might be leaving. They know when deals fall through. They see when reinforcements aren't arriving. And in an environment as intense as Rangers, that kind of uncertainty can spread quickly. Russell Martin needs to keep the dressing room focused, united, and believing in the project. Even when the headlines outside suggest chaos, what helps is that on the pitch there have been glimpses of real promise. The win against Panathinaikos wasn't perfect, but it showed resilience, it showed structure, and it showed a willingness to fight through adversity. Something that was missing too often last season. Curtis's goal gave fans something to celebrate. And even more importantly, it gave the squad a lift. But one game can't paper over deeper cracks. The victory has to be the start of something, not a moment of false hope. There's also the challenge of managing fan expectations when so much is in flux. Supporters see rivals strengthening. They see time ticking away. And when transfers like Beck's fall apart, or when players like Iguain look like they're halfway out the door, the anxiety only builds. The board has to communicate clearly. The manager has to be transparent, and above all, actions have to back up the words. And yet, for all the chaos and frustration, there's still opportunity here. The window is still open. There are still players available. And Rangers remain an attractive destination for the right kind of talent. The squad isn't that far away from being truly competitive. But they need the right pieces. They need depth. They need balance. And they need a clear sense of direction. This is where leadership matters most. Russell Martin's biggest task this summer isn't just building a team. It's managing a transition that's fraught with expectations, financial pressures, and emotional investment from one of the most passionate fan bases in world football. Every signing, or lack thereof, gets dissected. Every lineup decision is a debate. Every drop point a potential crisis. But that's the job. That's Rangers. That's the reality of managing in Glasgow, and it's a reality that doesn't come with much forgiveness. If Beck had signed, if Iguain were locked in, if Dessers wasn't being courted, the tone around the club right now would be different. But those ifs don't help. What matters now is how Rangers respond, how quickly they pivot, how boldly they act. Because the season isn't waiting, the Champions League isn't waiting, and the supporters, they've waited long enough. The clock is ticking, the pressure is building, and the next few weeks will shape not just this season, but potentially the trajectory of the Russell Martin era. There's no more room for missed chances, no more time for reactive planning. The time to act decisively, intelligently, and with real ambition is now. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications. To get all the exclusive news about Rangers FC, don't overlook any details about your beloved team. It's crucial for Rangers FC fans. In a surprising and emotional turn of events, Northern Irish winger Ross McCAUSLAND was seen in tears as he parted ways with Rangers Football Club, sparking a flurry of whispers round Ibrox and beyond. "I was used and discarded," the 21-year-old reportedly told close sources, leaving many to wonder what truly went on behind the scenes at the Glasgow Giants. While the club has yet to make any official statement, McCAUSLAND's sudden and sorrowful departure has raised eyebrows among supporters and pundits alike. Just months ago, the young talent was being hailed as one of the more promising figures in the squad's future. Now, he's walking away, or perhaps being shown the door, under a cloud of speculation and what some are calling mistreatment. It's said that McCAUSLAND felt marginalized by the coaching staff in recent weeks, left out of crucial matches despite putting in consistent performances when called upon. Some suggest he was promised a bigger role in the club's rebuilding project, only to find himself sidelined when fresh faces were brought in during the summer window. Whether that was a tactical decision or something more personal remains unclear. Rumors have begun to swirl that the relationship between McCAUSLAND and the management soured as plans shifted at boardroom level. Could this have been a case of a young player caught in the crossfire of bigger club politics? Or perhaps a falling out that went deeper than just footballing matters? There's even been talk, albeit unconfirmed, of tensions between McCAUSLAND's representatives and the club's hierarchy, potentially over a new contract or lack thereof. As fans digest the news, many have taken to social media in support of the youngster, with some blaming the club for failing to nurture and protect their own talent. Others remain more cautious, suggesting we may not have the full picture just yet. One thing's for sure, McCAUSLAND's tearful exit from Rangers has opened up more questions than answers. Whether this was simply a misunderstood farewell or the beginning of a larger story remains to be seen. But in the world of football, where drama often unfolds in the shadows, McCAUSLAND's words may echo for some time, used and discarded. Greetings, fans. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, as it's greatly appreciated by Rangers FC, and don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments section below. Until the next video, stay tuned.